Hi, Olga. How are you this
Hello,
afternoon?
Chris. I'm really well. Thank you very much.
So you're obviously doing quite a lot of work looking at advising hotels at the moment. How are you seeing this particular period of time?
As a personal effect on me or
Yeah,
on,
both. Well, both actually. Let's start with the personal effect on you. How's lockdown affected you?
I've tried to keep positive mindset about it and really utilize my time in a effective way and making the most of the opportunities given. I generally believe that we have been given opportunity once in a lifetime. I mean, how often do we get to take, 3 months or so off and focus on ourselves? So I suppose I took a really good look on where I am in my career, in my personal life. Um, Kind of take a stock of what I have achieved so far, whether I'm happy with it, maybe how I see my next kind of 10, 15, 20 years, what I want to achieve out of this and how I will get there and what are my priorities, because I kind of got into management level roles and worked in revenue management since 2008. So it was a really good time to kind of look back and see, okay, what have I achieved? What do I see next in my career and in my personal life as well? So it's been challenging. I think it's been really difficult on many of us. I won't take that away. And one of my family members have been affected by COVID-19 while preparing for the heart operation. So it's been a really anxious time as well for the family. And we had to make some arrangements, I suppose, to ensure it doesn't, no one else gets affected. But you know, you kind of take it on a on a
Chin you kid.
yeah, exactly. You just go with it. And I also my role was made redundant just before we went to the lockdown, and I think that was the biggest kind of loss for me to lose something you're so passionate about. Um, that was really difficult to deal with. But then I thought, okay, well, I love what I do, so I decided to help businesses and individuals and really give my kind of experience and knowledge to others and help them. So yeah, I got involved with Revenue Hacks, which is a weekly revenue talks. And we, with five other leaders in the revenue field, we discussed what are the challenges in the market. We talked about the best practices. We looked at the best strategies for the recovery. And it has been great because we all learn from each other. We kind of slightly pushed each other as well in different ways. And some great outcomes came out of this collaboration. I also got involved with umbrella training, something I'm really passionate about. Took a few training courses myself and done some other supported charity as well, City Harvest, I'm as well also very passionate about. So yeah, it has been difficult but very rewarding time. I'm very grateful for this opportunity.
Well, it sounds like it's been a fascinating time. So what have you learned most about yourself during this period of time?
I think I became more mindful of myself and of others as well. That I think been a really kind of and trying to keep positive mindset every single day. It's it can be tricky.
Oh, it can be very hard, particularly when you've had a very successful career, because you've been a St. Julian's scholar, you've won a number of awards, and suddenly you're always on this upward, and then suddenly this happens. It's very hard to readapt, isn't it?
Yes, it's definitely not easy. But yeah, it's one of the great learnings as well in life. Sometimes you need to take that step back and understand. And one of the things I kind of learned from it is maybe not to give 100% of yourself sometimes, because I'm so passionate about every single project I get involved, every single role I had in the past. And really giving 100% of yourself, maybe not necessarily kind of the right way to go about it. I also generally believe that in the future, if not already now, but in the future, more of us will have multiple revenue streams. Or then we may have different projects we're working on, whether it's going to be writing, teaching, doing more charity work, or running your own business on the side.
Very good. Yeah, very interesting. We were talking about that this morning, actually. That there's a view that people have 3 or 4 jobs, almost 3 or 4 different streams. And you see that happening to you?
Yeah, absolutely, yes. And I think maybe that is one way of how to have this more a balanced life, because it's great to have the job that kind of fulfilling as well, but you might also want to achieve something additionally to that. So by having that opportunity, it might be just simply rewarding. It doesn't necessarily have to be financial reward, but just other rewards.
I mean, that's one of the great debates as well, is everyone's reevaluated their life during this period of time.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
actually it'd be interesting to see how behaviors change as we come out, won't they?
Yeah, I'm seeing more mindful approach to on a personal level, but also the businesses as well. I think we have taken really good stock of our lives and values, and we look at I don't think we any longer believe in the big slogans and big corporate statements. I think it's much more personalized right now. It's much more deeper. We talked about the brands the other day. We want to hear the storytelling. We want to know individual stories. The word of mouth has much bigger power, I think, than what we anticipated or thought about it. I think that's much more, it has much more value than someone's just making a big statement.
Yeah, undoubtedly so. And how do you see hotels changing coming out of this period? Because they're obviously going to face a real battle to get back to recovery. I think most hotels seem to be forecasting it's going to be a battle, certainly for the next year. How do you see it?
Again, you straight away, hospitality industry has been hit hard. If we compare to 2008 financial crisis, right now the industry has been hit 3 times harder, let's say, or we're seeing more negative impact. So we have a long route to recovery, but I'm also seeing great desire to, as a hospitality industry, I'm seeing much more open conversation between hoteliers. I think we all understand that we need to work together. If we want to get out of this, we really need to see more collaboration, more partnerships, not just even within the businesses within hotels, but with businesses in the area. I'm also hoping to see more collaboration with travel and tourism boards, because we no longer even compete with each other. We no longer even compete with online travel agencies. We compete as destinations. So that we really need to work together if we want to come out of this with the kind of least losses. That's probably where I'm seeing the biggest change. I'm seeing great introduction and kind of more introducing technology as well. And I'm really happy about it, because hospitality industry kind of been on the back foot. We are not the first to introduce technology. And I love traditions, and this country is really important, keeping traditions, but technology that change has been long overdue. So I'm seeing more implementation of technology. That's definitely important, but also the leadership. I think right now during the time of crisis, that's when we'll see the true leaders come out of this and maybe shine. I'm also seeing great desire to support a new generation of hoteliers and make sure that we don't lose our talent. And that's going to be really one of the biggest challenges, I think, out of this.
Yeah, I agree on that piece. I think the worry is about losing the people who are vulnerable at the moment, the young ones.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. That's one of the reasons why I got involved with umbrella training, because, travel industry or tourism industry is not easy to work anyway. In hospitality, it's long hours, it's quite hard work, it's not so well paid as other industries. So I'm really concerned whether we're going to lose right now more talent during this time, because it might be easy to go to another industry and kind of secure the job there. But also having access to the students, there is so much desire, there's so much passion, they're so clever, they really want to work. So yeah, I'm really all for helping and supporting the new generation.
Yeah, I'm actually hopeful that actually they will find their own solutions too, because obviously it's hard for the companies. But yeah. I'm a great believer that actually university people find new solutions, and actually we see some good things come out of this.
Yeah, definitely. And I think as every single crisis is followed by a rise of startups, and I'm hoping to see that as well. And I think a lot of the startups will be led by a younger generation, and it's only a good thing. And hoteliers can benefit from it, because during the time of crisis, the price point for those new products will be probably quite low or affordable. So I'm hoping to see more collaboration, and that's again one of the sides of the technology. It will be led by new generation, and I'm really passionate supporting them as well. It's yeah, absolutely.
Very good. And what kind of technology are you seeing come to the fore at the moment?
I think it will be more about we need to look into the values of a younger generation. And I think they want to see less, for them, the environmental impact is really important, sustainability. That is definitely a focus. I also see, talking about sustainability, I was born in Estonia, where for us kind of recycling is part of our life. We kind of, respect to the nature and surroundings is part of who we are kind of in many Nordic countries. So I couldn't generally understand why trying to reduce the use of plastic in the supermarkets was such a big deal here. So I think there will be more focus on sustainability, on more green approach to the business. Also, the kind of focus on people and the culture within companies, because it goes again back to the values. And I think the more kind of we need to have really variable workforce needs to be a much more broader spectrum. The more we have, more inclusions we have in workforce, the greater chances we have to attract young generation of consumers as well. So if we reflect company values on what new generation is looking for, then we have a greater chances to succeed as well. And I think it will be great to focus on customer values as well, and kind of more journey. The less touch points we'll have in terms of the journey for consumer, the kind of the greater it is. So that's where it comes to kind of Google and artificial technology, AI. So that's going to be right now a big focus as well.
There's a great theory, I'm sure you've read it, about that chief execs could get replaced by chief AI officers.
Well, let's hope not.
Which in hospitality might be a bit of a shock, really.
Yeah, I think, again, there's the human element is it's really, you can't take that away. I've seen it in revenue management so many times. We have so many discussions of, can we trust technologists to make even the pricing decisions? I don't think we can. At the end of the day, you try to build a system, and I worked with so many in my career, you try to build your brain into the system to get the right suggestions. So technology has a great place in hospitality. It saves us a lot of time. But at the end of the day, it's still the human element, especially in hospitality. I think it will be even more right now valued than before.
I think it will. I do. I think it's how we find a balance between the people, it's the personal side, and technology.
Absolutely.
So I think technology is going to obviously improve services in different ways, but that personal piece, I think people are desperate for it again.
Yeah.
It is going to be interesting, isn't it? I mean, I'm dying to go out for a meal.
Yeah, but there are so many kind of ideas are slightly a little bit maybe too crazy to implement. Sitting maybe in a kind of cubicle that's kind of just around you. I'm not sure that's kind of is the dining experience you're looking for as well. So it's great to see great ideas coming, but I don't think all of them will be implemented as well.
I think that's right. Let's talk about you, because you're actually a very competitive person as well, aren't you? From what I gather.
Yes, I am. I'm not going to deny it.
And you do quite a lot of sports. You do quite a lot of running, is that fair?
Yes, I've completed 2 marathons, London and Paris, supported charity for visually impaired children as well, to raise money for the fund for that charity. From running, I went into cycling. I've done duathlons, triathlons as well, different kind of activities. And the biggest kind of achievement, I think, is half Ironman 70.3, which I did last year in Italy. So yeah, I think sport is a great way to keep your, to kind of keep your mindset as well in the right path and deal with the stress. That's my way of dealing with stress.
No, look, I'd agree on that. I suppose what I'm trying to kind of gently get to is about you as a character, because you're obviously incredibly driven.
Yeah.
Are you just naturally competitive, or is there a deeper burning motivation in there as well?
I'm sure there is a deeper burning motivation as well, and maybe sometimes, you ask really good question. If I'm really honest, then yes, naturally competitive nature is part of me, but also being born in Soviet Union, I think we were brought in a very different mindset, and maybe trying to prove someone that I'm more than just a person who can be an accountant or a supermarket or working in a supermarket. I think that was a driving force. So without going into further details, I think there are, of course, always some deeper reasons why I try to achieve certain things.
No, of course. But how are you changing during this period now? Because not just because of lockdown. How are you finding your own thinking changing as you go through the industry as well?
I think once you achieve certain things in your career, kind of, you hit the milestones, you look into not what you want to achieve, but how you want to help others. And for me, I also, during the lockdown, I had to slow down, and maybe take a stock of the things that I'm very grateful for. Because we are just so busy sometimes, we don't have a chance to look around us and have a look at how really fortunate we are. It's the little things that actually matter to us the most. It's not the achievements in a career, it's your family, who you're surrounded by, and also changing lives for others. I think that's another very big one for me.
Oh, it sounds like you're going through quite a period of change and reflection. What's your aspiration? Yes. What's your aspiration now?
I have been really fortunate with work some truly inspiring leaders in the industry. And interestingly, not actually most of them I haven't worked directly with. And it just goes to show that if people truly care, they find a way how to reach to and how to show they care and help. So they guided me throughout my career, which I'm very grateful for. And there have been a number of leaders in the hospitality industry. And it also ignited my desire to help next generation of hoteliers. It's, by sharing my knowledge and experience and supporting hoteliers I suppose it's my way of giving back as well to the industry that has been so kind to me.
Oh, that's very good. And I know you're a real advocate for progressive thinking in terms of talent, the inclusion, obviously. Yeah. Do you think we're making good progress?
Yeah, I think it's also the crisis kind of accelerated that change. I think I'm seeing more open discussions and open forums, and it's kind of even what EP in hospitality business is doing. We have a great platform for the speakers from different kind of business angles and aspects, and you have diversity in your panel as well. So I think it has been more acceleration in that area. At least I'm seeing that. LinkedIn has been a valuable tool for many, and I think kind of young, maybe generation, we're looking to what next generation is want to achieve. I think is really important. I think we're making progress.
That's good. I mean, obviously, one of the key discussion pieces at the moment is about the 2 meter, 1 meter. Mm-hmm. And your view on this one?
A mindful approach, always mindful approach. Well, I think financially it will make a huge business. With 2 meters, we will be occupancy only 30%. With 1 meter, it will put the business into 70% occupancy, and that's where the point where the business can at least make their ends meet, and potentially looking to make some sort of profit. So yes, it's always been a guideline. It's not set in stone. It's also how long you are in a contact with the person in that area, in that space. I'm hoping to see changes, and I know that I think by today we should have more guidance from the government when actually hospitality industry will be able to reopen. But they haven't been made much of a clear message at this stage. I know a lot of businesses preparing for opening anyway, and many of them will be opened on the 4th of July. Was actually the other day, I was really excited to learn the news about areas in Soho and other areas in Westminster to open, to use the pedestrian space for the alfresco dining. It's something that has been implemented in other European cities already for a number of months. So I'm really happy, because I think it's a massive step forward. And it's a small kind of milestone, but I'm really happy to see that change. And I'm very happy that government was a little bit more open-minded and flexible and accommodating this time.
That's a very fair point, because isn't Estonia been doing quite a lot of this?
Yes, for a number of years. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm hoping that it will give businesses opportunity to, they might not even make much profit, but it gives them a fighting chance, and that's what we're all looking for. Just give us a chance. And I think the hospitality industry is so innovative. I think we have a good chance for recovery as well.
Yeah, the biggest challenge seems to be getting people into public transport and getting people to feel safe to come into London.
Well, the other day I was going to London to work for a charity. And I actually was really surprised how empty the trains were, and everyone was very respectful of the fact we were wearing masks. So I found there were more people on the streets, and I found overwhelming, just too busy for my liking, kind of, that wasn't safe. But tube and trains were absolutely fine, and everyone is very respectful. I think we're all very mindful of not just impact to us, but to others as well.
And how do you think your behaviors have changed during this period? You're touching on it there, aren't you?
Yeah, I think for me, I think being mindful, I've mentioned a couple of times already, that was kind of the biggest point. And I think we've seen really great leaders emerging out of this crisis on a kind of political level, but on corporate level. And sometimes the times like this will show actually who will stay by your side and who won't. So yeah, it's been a kind of a trying period.
Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot. So who's inspired you, Olga? You've talked about some great leaders who have motivated you over the years and inspired you over the years. Who really
in the hospitality industry?
Yeah.
Kieran Fahy was one of them. Neil Broaden. These are the kind of the people who supported me throughout my career the most.
Very good people.
Yeah, they're really fantastic people, yes. And I think there's so many people, actually, so many great general managers I know who progressed under guidance of Kieran Fahy, for example. So I know that I'm not speaking just on behalf of myself, but on behalf of many other people.
And actually now for you, you seem to be obviously looking at particularly getting involved in charity work, in talent development and mentoring, as well as business consultancy. Is this where you see your career now progressing and taking off?
Oh, is that disclosing too much? Potentially. Potentially, yes. I mean, definitely continuing my mentorship programs. I just signed up actually to the new program this week. So I've taken on another mentee, and it's something I've been doing for a number of years now already. So it's not necessarily new. I think I will try to support where I can umbrella training and other training development programs. I will continue working, do my charity, my kind of good deed, where I can, and whether potentially setting up my own consultancy. Yes, it's one of the potentials, but I will kind of wait with that because there are projects happening kind of in the backseat at the same time. So we'll see.
You're on a journey. Is that the best way to describe it? Well, look,
yeah,
I'm sure you'll be a great success whatever you do, Olga. So look, many thanks for today. I know this has put you on the spot a bit, but you've answered.
Thank you very much.
So thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure, Chris. Many thanks.